Rockin' Royal, rockin' Navy, know y'all with me, let's get it, baby.
Welcome back to another edition
Royal,
of the KSL.com
Rockin'
Rockin' Royal podcast. Here for a post-spring ball edition of the show. I've got a very special guest joining me on the other side of this microphone. And I think he's been one of the standouts in spring ball, quite frankly. He's been growing into a star role on offense, and I think he could have a really big senior year in Cougar Blue. This will be his first year at BYU, but it might be the best year of his career. I'm talking about UCLA and Utah transfer tight end Carsen Ryan, who coaches have been making a big point to get him the ball, to get him developing some chemistry with Jake Retzlaff, to get him involved in the offense in a position, quite frankly, that is of significant need for this BYU football team. And Carsen's a local kid. I covered him growing up in Utah high school football. He prepped at Timpview and then American Fork. And I got to know him a little bit through some of the private training that he did with Ross Oppo, former BYU wide receiver Ross Oppo. He does work with mile wide receiving unit, make it look easy wide receiving. If you need pass catching, receiving, just all sorts of football training and technical work. Ross is a good guy to call up. Hit him up on Twitter or Instagram. But Carsen was one of his pupils. He's one of his students, and he was always, I thought, one of the biggest stars in Utah high school football that maybe didn't get enough credit for what he was really worth. He signed with UCLA out of high school, had an okay career there, but kind of went back and forth between a couple of different positions. Chip Kelly initially wanted to use him as more of a fullback, and then they kind of tried him at like an inside receiver type of tight end still, but just a little different role than maybe what he was used to. And so he transferred out and came back home and committed to Utah, which has a great tradition of tight end use recently, thinking of guys like Dalton Kincaid and the like. And I don't think he ever quite fit in with that offense last year. Obviously, the Utes went 5-7. It was a disappointing year by their standards. Kyle Whittingham's back. He's revamped the offense with former BYU quarterback Jason Beck, Micah Simon, the wide receivers coach, new semi-quarterback coach, graduate assistant type in Coy Detmer Jr., another former BYU quarterback. So you got to think that offense kind of gets back on track there. And Carsen sort of found himself as a little bit of an odd man out. Entered the transfer portal again. Took his time, didn't really think about staying home, coming back to the state of Utah. But I caught up with him about midway, 2/3 of the way through spring ball when he was just killing it at BYU. To kind of ask him a little bit about why he came back to BYU. And truthfully, he said he wasn't really planning on going to BYU until he got on his official visit, and they brought his whole family in, his mom, his dad, younger brother, younger sister, and he said he finally just found somewhere that felt like home. The family atmosphere just felt like home. I talked to his mom a little bit. She echoed a lot of those sentiments where what Coach Kalani Sitake has built is just felt more like a family for Carsen Ryan than anything else. And so he's in Provo, down the road from where he grew up. Literally down the road from where he went to high school for a couple of years at Timpview High. His parents now live in Orem, so his whole family can come and watch him play during his senior year, which is great because he's got a grandfather who's battling cancer right now. And another thing that really helped sell Carsen Ryan on BYU was the chance to wear the jersey number 20, which is what I started out talking with him about, because the number 20 has a pretty big place in the Ryan family's heart. Mom and dad were both married on July 20th, so it's sort of their family number. His younger sister Collins she's an outfielder, 12-year-old softball player, maybe the next big BYU softball player. We'll see. But she wears number 20. His younger brother recently adopted the number 20. And Carsen is now back to wearing number 20 with BYU, which is something that means a little bit more than just a normal number for him to be able to represent his family with the name on the back of his jersey, but also with the number on the front of his jersey. So Here, let's start out with that. Here's Carsen Ryan in our conversation telling me why the number 20 is so important to him and the whole Ryan clan.
Yeah, no, it's the number I had over in high school whenever I was playing. That I had at UCLA too, both those first 2 years, and so it was nice to get it back here. You get it later.
Speaking of number one in our hearts, the LASR over there.
Yep. But no, it means so much. It's a big family number for us. My mom wore it, and all her sisters wore it growing up, and I started wearing it when I got older and into high school for football. And it's like big, it's close to our hearts. Something that kind of like unites us as a family. All my siblings wear it now. My little sister, when she plays softball, she wears it. So it's a big family member.
I was going to say, all of your younger siblings as well. Are they looking up to you and wearing it, or are they still looking up to your mom wearing it?
A little bit of both. Depends who you ask and what day it is, who they say they're wearing it for. But I like to think it's because of me. But I don't know.
For sure. It could be both. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's totally fine if it's both. On that note, a little bit, I remember when you committed here and then signed for your, I think it's finally your last year of college football. COVID has done weird things on my brain the last couple of years. But I think this is your last year. And when you committed, you actually visited here. Your whole family met you down here, your mom, your dad, all of your siblings. You took photos, all of that stuff. How important was that family connection in coming back home to play at BYU, to be able to, play in front of mom and dad, to be able to be around your siblings, that kind of thing?
Yeah, it's been really good. It's been nice to be around. They've been able to come to practice a few times and hanging out, be able to see them a lot and spend time with my family. And I didn't have that for a little while. I was out of town, and so it's a plus to have them back. I came here for football. That was the main goal, first and foremost. Whether it was here or anywhere else, like this is the spot I want for football. But have my family is a big plus, so that's something to really grateful for.
Well, what is it about the football, the program, the coaching staff around here, the offense that you're settling into? What is it that really kind of stood out to you when you decided to transfer back here?
I feel like coming here, I just had a really good connection with the coaches, Coach A-Rod, Coach Gilbride, Coach Kalani, like great guys and great coaches as well. And I feel like when I was on my visit, I feel like I had a lot to learn from them and a lot to grow by coming here. And so for me, it was like, it's my last year. I got to go somewhere where I can grow the most, play the most, and showcase my talents. And I feel like they gave me the best opportunity to do that as a football player and as a person on off the field. And so that's what really attracted me the most in my visit, was just that connection that I had with them. So.
Well, speaking of showcasing your talent, you've been showcasing a lot here during the last month of spring ball or so. It feels like every time we come in here in the media, we see a big gain, a touchdown catch. I mean, just some sort of big play from you out of that tight end spot. Have you been getting a lot of work this spring?
I've been trying to. I'm trying to do my best to show out and find my spot on this team and make my way onto this offense and just slowly learn the playbook. I've been relying a lot on the guys around me and them helping me, and all my team has been a big help in getting me settled, and so the coaches. And I feel like got a lot of excitement for this year, not just for myself but for the team as well. And I can only be as good as the offense is. We got to build each other up. And, we got a great offense, a great group of players around me. A lot of talent, and so I just hope to be a small part of something great that can happen this year.
It does seem like you and Jake Retzloff obviously developed a chemistry pretty quick in there. Was it fairly quick that you guys kind of grew together, connected, or did you maybe have to go take him out to a local park or something to kind of get some timing down or whatever? What was kind of building that connection, that chemistry like?
We've gotten along pretty well since I met him, and in the locker room and off the field, on the field, he's a super cool guy now. I like talking to him and spend time with him, hang out with him, and so it's been a good connection to have, and I feel like that's really helped us on the field too, and being able to get that on-field connection so we can talk to each other on the field and figure out what we need to do to fix that play, or what I need to do to run a route better, or how he wants me to do it differently for him, and so it's been a good help, like you said.
What is the tight end room like? You're obviously one of the leaders by seniority, I guess, by age in that tight end room. What's that group like?
It's a great group, and I've known a few of the guys before from high school football and around the camp circuit and stuff, and just being around football. And so I played high school with Noah Moyaki, and so it's great to play with him again. We got a lot of talent in that room, and a lot of veterans too. Ethan Erickson been around for a while, Anthony and Noah going into their second, third years, and so a lot of good players there and a lot of talent. I feel like it's good. It's good to have that, because then you can help each other grow and help each other get better. In your position, you can push each other to be better. So.
Oh, for sure. Last question. I'll get you out of here on this, because spring ball is close to wrapping up and everything. How excited are you to get to the fall, to get out at LES in front of, your hometown essentially? You went to high school up the road at Timpview. I know you're technically an AF grad, but
Sure.
we'll let both of them claim you some
Yep.
a little bit. So how excited are you to kind of get back on the field in front of your hometown?
I'm super pumped. I love football, and I can't wait to start playing again. I can't wait to get to the last few days of fall camp leading up to the first game. And I get goosebumps thinking about it. I'm super excited. It's going to be a great year, and I can't wait for that first game. We're going to the LaVell Edwards Stadium for the first time. I've never played a football game there before, so it's going to be new for me that first week. And I've been to games and I've heard some great things about it, so I'm excited for the atmosphere and the fans and all the energy they bring. So I'm super excited.
Defense hitting hard like some seashells. Get into the green, I ain't talking kale. Boy, that team up north, man, but oh well. We getting jiggy with that boy Cosmo. We granting kids wishes like that boy Cosmo.